So have you ever really thought about that song Mississippi Queen by Mountain? Mississippi Queen. And then he immediately says, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, I don't know what you mean. You know what I mean? A Mississippi Queen? You know what? Hey, you know what I mean? Hey.
But I did learn from hanging out with my dad and his old alcoholic friend when I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
That that old men like to pretend like they have an inside joke together.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, I know what time it is.
Huh, yeah.
Wink at each other.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hound dog. Wink,
Wink,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So maybe that's it.
I guess
maybe
so.
he's saying like, I don't mean anything, basically.
I mean, do you know what I mean? Because if you do know, please tell me.
Let me know.
I'm not
Please.
really sure.
Yeah.
I've heard this term Mississippi Queen. Not exactly certain what it's about. I really need more information to complete the picture of what he means by Mississippi Queen. If any of our listeners know, write in. Inform us, because we're dying to know what he means.
You know what? While the rest of them dudes was getting their kicks. Something, blah, 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 blah,
Welcome, dead and lovely listeners, to the greatest horror movie review podcast in this universe and beyond. Why, it's dead and lovely here with the host with the most. It's me, your good buddy, Uncle Ben.
And me. Hollywood is wrestling.
The crowd's going up. Oh my God, it's him. Look at him. I love that Hollywood Steve.
It's good. It's good that it's average.
It doesn't really hurt that much.
He's
it's
average
fine.
height as well. It's okay.
Everything's pretty much normal. It's what you'd expect.
Hey, it's me.
How you been doing this week, Stu?
I've been having a good week.
Yeah?
Yeah. Emily's, she's finished with school.
School's out for summer?
School's out forever.
I gotta tell you the truth. The best thing that Alice Cooper ever did for music was discover Frank Zappa. That's all that he did. Like, I'd never been an Alice Cooper fan.
No.
But he did discover Frank Zappa.
I did like his performance in Prince of Darkness as a homeless person.
And Wayne's World.
And Wayne's World.
And
was he a homeless person in that?
No, he was playing at the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Emily's school's out?
Yeah, Emily's school's out. And so we got our anniversary coming up. You just had an anniversary this very day.
Uh-huh, that's damn right. I just got back from celebrating my 18th anniversary.
The big one.
To my dear beloved wife. You can now legally fuck our relationship.
Awesome. And I'm gonna later.
Hey, look out.
Yep.
Look out now.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you guys who are keeping a scorecard at home, you know, we went out for 10 years, then we've been married for 8 years. I think it's dumb whenever people don't count how long they've been together total.
Yeah.
In terms of, we've been together 6 years. Yeah, we were married, we went out for 10 years before that, but we've been married 6, and that's what counts.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't. It all counts.
It all counts. Every single moment.
So I had this weird thought while we were out tonight. I was like, if we would have slipped up and gotten pregnant that first year that we met.
Oh, shit. You'd have a kid going off to college by now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, somebody could be fucking our kid legally.
Oh, man.
Like, one of my friends could legally be boning my child by now.
And they would.
And they would.
Because you hang out with musicians.
Well, because that kid would be gorgeous.
Well, duh.
The hair
First
on
off,
that thing.
It would have, great hair.
Incredible hair.
Incredible.
Very pale child. Extremely pale.
A child with no color at all.
Yeah, exactly right. So that was kind of a surreal thought that I had where I was like, damn, that kid would be 18 by now. That kid would be older than we were when we made it. Wow. Now that's fucked up, right?
That's crazy.
That's extremely weird. Now, neither of us have kids, but have you ever really thought about what your kids would be like? Because the thing is I think that conservatism is the new form of rebellion. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that wearing a suit and playing football is probably the thing that you can do that would piss your parents off the most if they're our age.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. I mean, honestly,
kids be going to church.
Oh, Jesus.
Ugh.
They'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I'd be like, God damn.
Yeah. Man, it sounds terrible, honestly. I don't know. There's really nothing you can do to control your child, and you shouldn't even try to control your child, of course, but I don't know. I feel like most people, if they listen to their kid and really answer them and trust them and give them some space to be themselves, most of those kids aren't going to grow up to rebel.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just don't be a shitty person.
Maybe that.
Honestly, like most parents that have kids that are shitty, a lot of them are fucking shitty parents. It's not it's not even that they're necessarily shitty people. They just were bad parents.
It's usually just those fucking helicopter parents.
Yeah.
You know, in any context, it's like you can be conservative helicopter. You can be,
where you keep making sure they don't listen to any of that metal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look how I turned out.
Don't play none of them video games.
Look how I turned out.
Doing exactly that.
Damn old hellion.
Yeah, you can't control them.
No. And you can be a turbo liberal, you know, helicopter parent.
And then be also overly controlling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, controlling. That's really the main thing, right?
Because they don't learn to make their own decisions.
No.
And then when they become adults and they realize, fuck, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I'm going to do all the things that they told me I couldn't do.
Exactly, man. We had ourselves a good old anniversary day, though. We both were we both were technically off of work today, so we spent today working. Because that's what you do when you're in our age group. It's like, oh, a day off. Let's work. So we both did some work. She was working on photo stuff. I was working on video stuff. Yeah. You know, for our anniversary, we were initially just like, we don't really have time to do anything.
Right.
And then we were like, you know what? We should do something.
Go eat or something.
18's a pretty big number. So we should at least do something. So we decided, and this is like so lame and so corny.
Yeah.
Because basically, like, our favorite restaurants and stuff like that, well, they're the ones that we, like, go to all the time. You know? Like, we're always doing sushi and
so what's going to be a treat?
A hibachi chop chop.
Is that right?
That's correct. Just sitting around a big old table with, like, 6 strangers.
Hibachi, huh?
I love it.
I don't like hibachi at all.
Really?
Yeah, I
can't stand it.
But that shrimp sauce is good in very moderate amounts.
Okay.
Like if I can eat, I like the rice.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just fried rice.
Yeah, sure.
But the meat is always, I mean, just plain. Like there's just pepper and salt on it.
It's on the plain
it's
side.
Like you could do so much more with this. Or if you get shrimp, it's like, I'm at a hibachi place. I do not trust this shrimp.
Sometimes that is an issue.
Yeah.
That is an issue sometimes.
Yeah.
We had ourselves a good time.
It's a great time, though.
It's where dinner
is fun.
The show.
Yeah, that is fun. When they make the little volcano thing and flip a... a lot of places I know don't do that anymore. They won't flip a piece of food into your mouth
it's been a while
people have choked.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to a place that does the flip.
Yeah.
So they didn't do that.
Okay.
But that's okay.
I forget you can get steak at those places, though. Sometimes that's really good.
Yeah,
because they'll cook it to temp.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. So we did that, and then we went down to the old city and consumed a ton of cocktails over at good old Postmodern.
Yeah.
Postmodern is
the best place to get a cocktail here.
If you're ever downtown Knoxville, definitely go there. And we went at just the perfect time, too, because it was basically us and, like, one other dude that was sitting at the bar initially when we got there. So you got to
hang out with the bartenders?
Yeah.
They're great.
And they're awesome.
Yes.
And they're also, like, whenever they know you and whenever things are, like, good and slow, they're like, hey, we're working on, like, 10 new cocktails. You want to try them?
Yeah, they let us try some stuff when me and Roger were hanging out there.
Yeah, dude. So they let us try, like, 100 different things. It's like they really want you to leave that place good and fucked up.
Yeah. They do, because they want you to come back and bring your friends.
And I do.
Seriously is one of the... I mean, like, I was going to say, it's definitely the best place to get a cocktail in Knoxville. But saying that might make people think, like, well, that's not saying much. I've had a lot of cocktails. In some real nice places in LA, and that place is on par. Like, easily. They know what they're doing, and they do it extremely well.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so we got back from doing all that stuff, which was a blast. It was a lot of fun. And I'm so happy to celebrate a magical another year around the sun with my dear darling, my real boo.
Looks like you made it.
Shorty, you my real boo.
Shorty, you my real boo.
Life is good. I know people that spend their whole lives with people that they're just fucking miserable with.
Jesus Christ. It would be the worst.
Oh,
I just can't imagine.
Why? Why do people do this to themselves?
Emily and I talk about that a lot of times because she'll have people that, is friends with or whatever, and she's like, why are they in that relationship or whatever? And
yeah, dude.
I can't imagine being like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like, you get these friends that are together and they just have an awful relationship and they're like, yeah, we're buying a house.
No, why?
Like, why? No.
You need to take steps backwards.
Yes,
not
exactly.
forward.
Not with a forward step. So, yeah, it's been a good old fun, wild ride. And she's such a number one showdy that she's like, do this podcast tonight. It's all good, which is pretty amazing because tomorrow I'm not going to be in because I'm going to Nashville to see Meshuggah.
Cashville, Tennessee.
That's correct. I'm going to go see one of my favorite bands ever. I'm so excited to see. I've not seen them in probably like 10 years or so, something like that.
Wow.
One of my favorites. If anybody can ever go see Meshuggah live, you must. They are unfucking believable.
They're a blast.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do some improvisation up there, huh?
You know what? Here's the weird thing is like in the world of metal, improvisation isn't really that common, but
I've seen those guys do it on videos. Yeah.
That's the thing is like especially when it comes to the solos and stuff like that, they are all like completely improv.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool.
That's really fun. So each live show is something. Like, I don't like live shows that much because I'm like, most of the time the CD sounds better.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Most of the time I'd rather just listen to the digital version.
Yep. Yeah, dude. If you're just running down the album in a loud, super reverby room with like 300
with a bunch of people you probably don't like.
Where you're paying $8 for a beer.
Yeah.
I think I'd just rather stay home and listen to CD.
But unless you're a big Ghost fan, they put on a huge show.
Amazing show.
You're going to see something you're not going to see ever again.
Exactly right, man. Make it special. Making memories.
That's right.
Yep. So, yeah, good stuff, man. It's going to be a really fun week, but a very, very hectic week for myself. I'll tell you what's been making me super happy this week.
What's that?
Is seeing all these early birds getting signed up for that brand new Patreon account that we've got.
Holy shit.
We've had people just signing up.
I was so surprised how quick
down.
People just started jumping on it. We're going to be doing shout outs starting episode 110.
Yeah.
Which is in a couple episodes.
Yeah.
This is 107.
Something like that.
Say 108. Yeah. So, but we do have 3 people we want to shout out who just went ahead and sent us money on PayPal, which is also an option. If you feel like, man, I don't want to commit to paying you guys something every month, I'll forget about it or whatever. You can just send us money directly on PayPal, paypal.me/deadandlovely.
Boom.
Just go there, send it. But we had some people send us money. Letitia McDade, one of our favorite listeners for sure.
Shout out, homegirl.
She's the best.
You're awesome.
Omar Abdul Khan.
Woo!
Also
Shout out to my
homegirl.
Shout out, you're awesome.
Yeah. And Kev Bickerdike.
Kev.
Who we have something else coming up in June.
Yeah.
That was suggested by Kev Bickerdike. So that dude's really helping out the show.
It's a good boy.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
He's just a good old boy.
And I also wanted to shout out Chris Zazarine and his wife. I don't want to go too into detail, but he emailed me and he's been telling me about what's going on. His wife Macy, she has cancer.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's looking real good.
Yes.
Things are looking up, and I want to just shout them out. Say, hey, glad you listened to the show. Hope everything's going great.
Yes, indeed. Good luck and quick and smooth recovery on everything there. Good luck to you guys.
Yeah.
So, Steve, what you been watching this week, man?
Man, I've been watching a good bit of stuff.
Yeah? I have not, so I'm glad that you can fill in the gaps right here.
But I want to start with the bad bit of stuff. I watched 2018's. Let's just go ahead. Crack us open a cold one.
Okay, yeah, leave the suspense right there. Leave the suspense going right there. I think before I get into hearing this bad news, I need to get myself a cold one. Now, this is a beer that I found. I had it at a venue I was playing last week. I was playing at a Wild Wing Cafe in Powell. Playing with the Boogie Nights, getting my boogie and my funk on.
Yeah.
They had themselves
teaching, pal.
a Braxton Brewing Company Tropic Flair. It's a triple dry hopped New England style India Pale Ale. I think Kentucky.
Covington, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
I think this might be one of our first Kentucky brews.
I think you might be right. Yeah, it is a 6.8 ABV, 35 IBU. Practice makes hazy perfection. This straw yellow hazy IPA was carefully refined over a year of innovation and experimentation at Braxton Labs.
Wow.
Tropic Flair New England style India Pale Ale is triple dry hopped and loaded with over 4 pounds per barrel of Galaxy, Citra, and Mosaic hops, amplifying the burst of fresh tropical aromas with each sip. Hefty additions of flaked oats and lactose provide a smooth, creamy finish for a true to style New England IPA crafted to perfection.
Look at that, man.
Dude, that was what struck me about it.
That is so hazy and juicy looking.
Yeah, dude. Whenever somebody
bloody
brought me one on stage the other night, That was the first thing that caught me about it. I was like, this looks like pond water or something. It kind of looks like...
It smells like grapefruit. It smells very grapefruity.
Dude, I think that you're really going to like it.
I'm already digging it.
It kind of looks like if you just put like whole fruit in a juicer, like peel and pith and seeds and all. It comes out looking like that. Isn't that awesome? It's
and that
so,
creamy finish they were talking about, that's exactly it. It tastes nice. It's like a cream saver. Like we've had others before that have been like this, but just like a grapefruit cream saver.
And it's also got all those kind of pineapple-y kind of notes and stuff in there too. Yeah, on tap it was like a little less creamy and a little bit more hazy and kind of juicy like.
Yeah.
But God, it's still really
it's
fucking
real great,
good, man. This is the first by Braxton that we've had. I hope it won't be the last. Because if this is any indication of what they're doing over there, they're cooking up something good.
Yeah. And I'd definitely try some of their other stuff if I were to see it in stores.
Oh, man. God, that is killer.
It's good. Yeah.
It's like, it's to the point where the sweetness is to that point where it's like I wouldn't want to drink like 3 of them.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet. That's
you know what
true.
I mean? It's on the sweeter side of things, but God, it just tastes so delicious.
It is really good.
It's a good old dessert bear.
So,
We've left
2018's The Predator.
I have not talked to one person that liked this movie. Not even a single person.
I don't know that you possibly could. Let me just say that the thing that I think is most egregious is that the special effects look like Mortal Kombat 2 on Sega Genesis.
With the blood code on.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's insanely bad. I mean, like, the Predators look good, but, like, somebody gets, like, ripped in half.
Yeah.
And it looks like Mortal Kombat. It looks so bad. And then, like, later, Predator gets, like, basically liquefied.
Okay.
And it looks like when Reptile spits out that acid, and it was like so cartoon looking.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck? How can it look this bad?
Oh
Watch the original and compare it to this.
Tell me which one looks better.
Looks a million times better.
That makes no sense. And it was made like 30 fucking years ago. Yeah. Dude.
And Shane Black certainly did not create characters worth creating. Like,
I've heard
they all
everybody
sound
is like
basically
quippy.
the same. Yeah, they all sound like Shane Black.
Okay.
It's like it's almost like it was an early draft of the script and then something happened and got in the way and he didn't have time to change it. Like he didn't have time because like that's what you do.
For success.
That's what you do. I mean, like my Shark Cemetery script currently in its first form is just bad. Like it's supposed to be bad. I wrote it because I didn't give a shit. I wanted it to be bad. Every character basically sounds the same. No big deal. Because you come back in later and then you're like, okay, who's this character? Let's sort of craft. How would they say this? But you got the idea of what you want to say. And I think that's what he had was the idea of what he wanted them to say. And then he got to set and he was like, fuck, didn't write that second draft.
Where did the time go?
Yeah, improvise. Just try. Yeah, a lot of the characters just not worthwhile at all. The main character, I can't even remember his name now, but he's from Narcos. He's a great actor.
Okay.
But the main character just, he's so characterless, I would say. Like there's no
super flat.
Yeah, there's nothing to like grab onto about him. Like he has a kid and he kind of cares about the kid, I guess, but you don't really get that until later in the movie. But it's not like he learned to care about his kid, so like, oh, character progression. Right. It's just like, oh, right, now I remember I care about my kid. It's real bad, though. The idea of a taller, bigger predator.
That's going to be better and scarier and tougher.
Fine.
Right.
Then there is a predator dog in there that gets shot in the head, which basically nice lobotomizes it. It makes it turn nice and become friends with the good guys.
Seriously?
By getting shot in the head.
What?
Yeah.
But that's stupid.
That's very stupid. It's really, really stupid.
But that's real dumb.
Yeah. And then he just keeps showing up at very opportune times with things like a grenade.
And then the whole thing revolve around like the predators coming here to get the next evolution of humans, which is like kids with Asperger's or something.
Yes, there's this concept in it that Asperger's is the next evolution in humanity.
Okay.
Which I don't know. That sounds like the we only use 10% of our brain type of Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like we're going to keep hearing that probably in the future because Hollywood loves characters with Asperger's. I mean, they're all over the place and they all solve crimes somehow or solve puzzles or whatever. Basically, if you need something solved but don't have an excuse for how it gets solved, give a character Asperger's and he can solve it because it's a magic power.
That's the Deus Ex Machina of all of Hollywood, isn't it? That's funny. I hadn't thought about that.
So it's not going away anytime soon. It's going to be there.
Perpetuating it, basically. Yeah. Are there any references to the original, like to Dutch or anything?
Yes. Oh, yeah. There are tons of them. There's Get to the Chopper is said and stuff like that. Yeah, there are tons of that.
You are one ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, basically that scene happens, except instead he says, "Why are you here?" But then shoots him in the face instead of letting him talk. So it's like you were expecting him to talk like he did in the first one, but instead he got shot in the face. Yeah, spoiler alert for The Predator, but don't watch it. Yeah, it's like, why?
Damn it, dude. Whenever it came out, I had such high hopes. And there was all these, like...
Shane Black, all the cool people in it. Like, but Keegan-Michael Key, like, he can't make it funny.
In it, wasn't he?
Yeah, even he can't make his role funny because it's just... There's nothing funny about it. They're all these soldiers with PTSD. And one of them has, like... fuck, shit, damn it. Where people do that.
Yeah, that.
What is it?
Tourette's,
yes. There's a character with Tourette's, but Hollywood Tourette's, where it's just like...
Fuck ass
I'll say
Tourette's.
something very, very appropriate to the moment, but inappropriate for me to say.
So, Boondock Saints Tourette's.
Yes. Boondock Saints Tourette's. That's exactly what it was. I fucking hated it. But I finished it. So I guess I didn't hate it as much as some other movies that I've hated. Because I did watch the whole thing.
You watched it more than you watched Ready Player One.
Well, actually, it's shorter than that. So technically, I watched more Ready Player One than I did of The Predator, but I finished The Predator.
Right, dude. Well, it sucks because I was excited because, like you said, Shane Black, all these people working on it that sounded cool, and there's all these rumors that the Super Predator was going to be based on Dutch's DNA.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
Oh man, Dutch beat the Predators. He's stronger than us. That's cool. Easy really to make a movie out of that.
Well, and oh man, I won't completely spoil the end. But the end does have a real cool moment. Like the very end of the movie has a real cool moment that I was like, man, they should have started with that actually. They came up with that cool idea. They should have started with that idea and wrote a movie.
Right.
Instead of writing a movie and then being like, oh man, at the end of the movie, let's have a cool idea.
Damn it, that's what we should have done. Shit. Oh well, man.
Yeah.
What else have you been checking out?
I have watched some great stuff. I started watching Barry.
I have heard it's awesome.
It's so fucking good. I watched all of season 1 and watched the first episode of season 2 and
that's Bill Hader, right?
It's Bill Hader. Henry Winkler's in it. Stephen Root.
The Fonz?
The Fonz is fucking in it, yeah.
And Milton?
Yeah.
Dude, holy shit. Great cast.
The guy who plays the character that I think you'll immediately start to love after about 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
NoHo Hank. I don't know the actor's name, but I don't know if I've probably seen him in something, but he's like shaved bald and he has no eyebrows, but he's like this real upbeat Chechnyan gangster.
Okay.
Like super positive about everything.
Okay. It's an unlikely combination of character traits, but I'm on board.
He becomes very lovable real quick, where you're just like, man, I like that guy.
It's about a hitman or something, right?
It is, and I would say seriously, if somebody came to me for advice on their screenplay and if it was about a hitman, I'd say scrap it because it's never interesting. I'm like, we're past it. The 90s killed hitmen for all of us. But then this fucking nails it.
Hey, I don't know, man. Deadpool's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, Deadpool's the best. But he came from the 90s.
That's true.
He's grandfathered in. There were just so many in the 90s where it was like, all right, we open on a hitman. And it's just like, and then he's going to have quips, I bet.
Right.
It's going to be something quirky about him. He's a hitman who likes
has
hamburgers
a sad story,
a lot,
too.
has
blah, blah, blah.
Well, so Barry is a former soldier. And being a hitman is not fun and easy for him.
Okay.
So he's going through shit when he does it. And there's a lot of characterization there, but it's also really funny a lot of the time, but then also really emotional a lot of the time, because he's also taking an acting class with the Fonz.
This sounds like a great setup.
It's a weird ass setup, and like I saw Bill Hader talking about it in an interview with Seth Meyers, I think, and he was like, "Yeah, it's like a weird idea that we had. Basically, we just said, hey, we want to make a show about a hitman."
Yeah,
and they were like, "Oh, who's gonna play the hitman?" Me. What? Like Bill Hader's the hitman?
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole setup is already weird, and yeah, it just gets stranger and stranger, and really funny show, but also like it really does get like the real serious moments where you'll be like, wow, I get this guy, like I get this hitman really well. I understand him better than I understand a lot of the other people. Yeah,
Bill Hader is awesome.
But man, what you really need to watch is episode 6 of the new Twilight Zone.
Okay, I haven't watched any of the new Twilight Zone.
Well, I mean, Twilight Zone, they're standalone episodes, so it doesn't matter. But the other 5 up to this point, they've had like some modern twists, but they've been more like the original Twilight Zone, I think, which is really great.
Yeah,
and
totally.
wonderful,
Yeah.
and I love it, and I love those. Especially episode 5, I was really into, where a mom has a camcorder, and she discovers that pressing rewind actually rewinds reality.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's a black mom taking her son to a school in a backwoods ass area, and there's this cop.
Okay.
And anyway, episode 6 though, escape clause. I can't say too much about it because I don't want to ruin it. But basically, the setup is some people. A mission to Mars is being sent out, and as they're on the like launch pad, America and North Korea and Russia all launch their nuclear missiles at each other.
Oh,
and they launch to escape it, and then they have to decide whether or not they're going to stay in orbit and hope that they can get back down, or they're going to head to Mars.
Whoa.
It's kind of the setup of that, it was the third Cloverfield movie, the Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
That kind of has a similar setup, except that one goes a completely different direction. So like the setup is, just the basic first 10 minutes of both of these. So they go completely different directions after that. And I really liked this, and I think it was much more resonant with like modern issues that Twilight Zone could deal with. They're more modern twists, but this one was just completely like modern idea, and
Sounds
it like
awesome.
blew my mind as I was like seeing the end of it. Just like, okay, what?
What is it on right now?
It's on CBS All Access, which is
Free?
It's not free,
Okay.
but you can get like a free week.
Okay, yeah. Binge it out.
Yeah, and they also have the new Star Trek, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah, check it out.
Worth a check out then. That sounds amazing. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about that new Twilight Zone. So it's something I've been meaning to check out. I've not had time to really watch anything. I went to good old Blackie Rose from Skank Banger's wedding the other day.
I saw pictures from that.
Blackie Rose is off the market, ladies. Hands off the merchandise. We had a good time at that, but yeah, I've just been so busy. I've not really watched anything other than like Game of Thrones, which
can't talk too much about.
We're not going to talk too much about it, but I will say this:
I'm fine with it.
I'm whatever. Yeah, it's fine. I have seen so many people just fucking rage bitching about what all is happening in this season. You know what I haven't seen?
What?
Anybody offering suggestions of what they should have done that would be fucking cooler.
Here's what I keep guessing. Okay, so like I keep seeing this on Reddit. I'm on tons of different subreddits related to Game of Thrones, but specifically on Free Folk, seeing people talking about how the writing is bad, the writing is bad, the writing is bad. And I keep thinking to myself, like, do they know what that means? Like, one person said that the reason why that Starbucks cup was left on the table was because the writing is bad.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't think you understand that literally the script is on the set and the writers are not usually there.
Yeah. There's a banquet. There's a table. There's a Starbucks cup.
Aren't dealing with the writing.
No.
Those are separate things.
Right.
When you say the writing is bad, I get that you think what you mean is, why aren't there new twists and turns? Because it's the end.
It's the end. You can't introduce new stuff.
You don't introduce new stuff. No new twists and turns. Now, yeah, there have been some, and we can't say anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to
don't want to spoil anything. There have been some small things that I'd be like, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, same. It's like, and there has been a lot of just like,
but they're small. They're real
teleporting
small.
And stuff. Where it's like, how did you get here?
Yeah, the past 2 seasons have been just basically you say you're going somewhere and then you're there.
And then you're there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's been stuff like that and other things where it's just like, you would have seen that coming.
The one major thing that I saw people complaining about, they're wrong about. They've been setting it up from the beginning.
Oh, right.
That somebody's going to do something.
That's vague enough.
Yeah. They've been setting that up since the beginning. And it wasn't just a sudden like mania that caught hold of someone. It's been there the whole time. And the reason why I don't like that particular character and never thought that particular character should be in charge.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I've been watching that. I watched a few trailers of things.
Yeah.
That.
Did you check out the Spider-Man?
I checked out the Spider-Man trailer.
Can't even really talk about that either because it's got spoilers in it.
There's spoilers right there in the trailer, which I also really appreciate.
Well, not spoilers for the movie, spoilers for Endgame.
Right, spoilers for Endgame.
Because that would suck if they spoiled the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I like that, like, before the trailer, they had Tom Holland be like, hey, if you're not seeing Endgame, don't watch it. Like,
super cute.
So odd. Dude, that guy.
He's adorable.
Here's the great thing about having Tom Holland as Peter Parker, as Spider-Man. He could do Peter Parker in high school for the next like 40 years.
Yeah, he could totally play that. Yeah, because he's gonna have that boyish look about him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Unless he just like blows up and gets addicted to dope and alcohol and gains 300 pounds or something like that.
Yeah,
like he could play boyish Peter Parker for the next 30 years easy if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome. He is so fucking perfect.
He's perfect for it. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the movie.
Me too.
I'm excited about it.
I'm looking forward because I think they set up something just in the trailer that I think might be a huge fucking deal.
Yeah, that I think is also setting up the next entire mega
the whole next 20 movies or whatever.
Right, yeah, because that's the thing that I was really curious about coming out of Endgame is like you've had this whole 22 movie building on 11 years worth of stuff storyline coming to a head. Next, are they just going to do a bunch of bit pieces or are they building another gigantic story arc? Yeah. Are they building another gigantic, huge, epic thing that's going to culminate in another movie?
I have some theories.
Based on just one little thing they introduce in there, I think I know where they're going with it.
Me too.
And I'm way on deck.
Yeah, me too.
I'm way on deck with it. So that looks really cool. I watched the trailer for Godzilla that was before Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I hope it's good.
It doesn't look great.
I'll tell you this.
The battle stuff
great.
looked good. Yeah, the stuff between the monsters looked cool.
Yeah, but the movie doesn't look good.
Yeah, I don't care about the rest of the story. Yeah, but that was the first one for me too. The monster looked great. But the movie, I was just, I don't care about these people.
Are you talking about the one with P. Diddy or the one with Bryan Cranston?
The one with Bryan Cranston.
I never even saw it.
That 1998 one is absolutely terrible.
It is just worthless. I never saw the Cranston one.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like, I didn't dig it, but then I watched Kong Skull Island, and I liked Kong Skull Island. I mean, it's not great, but it was fun.
Yeah, that is just a weird, fun, really pretty movie.
And they're like part of the same universe, so you should check it out at least, I guess.
Are they?
Yeah, they're gonna bring them together.
No shit.
Yeah, they're gonna have their monsterverse. Yeah,
it kind of concerns me that it looks like they're really blowing the Godzilla evil monster load on this.
Yeah, they're bringing them all out.
There's like Ghidorah, there's Mothra,
like
they're all up in this thing. And it's like, okay, do you want to make other movies or just do them all now?
Just do it all right now. I think because I think they have another plan for one more King Kong and then King Kong versus Godzilla. So, yeah, maybe they don't have any long-term plans for it. Because they did just make recently another new Godzilla in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're still making movies in Japan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I don't know how long they have the rights to it. Maybe they planned on just doing a few.
I'll go watch giant monsters fight and destroy cities.
I've seen both Pacific Rim movies.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't like them, but I watch them because I want to see. I want it to be good.
I want it to be good.
I want it to be good.
Yeah.
One day it's gonna be great, and I'm gonna be like, finally, I can pass on, and I'll turn into a ghost immediately.
What do you think about that Sonic the Hedgehog trailer?
Somebody on Reddit had a theory about this.
Okay,
because they've come out since the trailer and said we're gonna change how he looks.
I can't believe that they've done that. By the way, that's amazing.
Here was the theory: they never intended to release a Sonic that looked like that. They wanted to get people looking at it,
and it worked.
To pay attention to the title, because how many people actually knew a Sonic movie was coming out? But after they saw that terrible trailer, they knew a Sonic movie was coming out.
And everybody shared it on Facebook, being like, look at this, it looks terrible. And
then they can be like, oh man, you know what, we'll just go back and fix it. I guess we'll release it in a month. We've already they've already got it. I feel like they got it done. Because like it would take like a long time to go back in and fix it.
Mm-hmm. You're saying they fake newsed it.
Yeah, they fake newsed it.
Holy shit.
I don't trust Netflix. I don't trust these people. I don't trust anybody anymore. With advertising has become so like deeply manipulative. Like
deeply manipulative. That's the way to put it. Yeah.
Where it's just like
interesting.
Good or bad don't mean anything in advertising.
Attention means everything. Yeah. Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
That's what fucking matters. Because even while you were watching this like train wreck of a trailer where you're like, oh my God, Sonic looks like weird and he's got these skinny legs and these beady eyes and it just looks strange, but then at the same time you're going, but Jim Carrey looks pretty good as Robotnik.
They got your eyes on the good stuff.
They did.
And then they tell you they're gonna fix the bad stuff, but I bet you they already had it fixed.
I wonder if you're fucking right, man.
They probably just made that bad trailer.
Welcome to InfoWars, ladies and gentlemen.
Fluoride's making the frogs gay. 9/11 never even happened.
Yeah.
The World Trade Center is still there.
Oh my God, dude. Fuck Alex Jones.
Yeah.
I just want to go ahead and put that out there.
Yeah. 100%. Fuck Alex Jones.
Fucking idiot, man.
Nobody don't need him.
But yeah, that's interesting about the Sonic stuff. I do wonder if you're right. Because I read
that and I was like, fuck, you're right. There's no way. Because like it would cost so much money to completely replace the main character's look in computer generated animation. Like
unless it's the kind of thing where it's like if there's a skin on that character and they could say apply all to everything in the whole. I don't know anything about computer animation.
I don't either.
I mean, I would imagine if you just wanted to make Sonic green, there's probably just like
there probably is
green apply all.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there is something like that they could have done. I seriously don't know shit about
That'd be interesting.
I'm just a simple boy from the country. You know what I mean? Mississippi Queen.
Mississippi Queen.
Hey, you know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern?
No, mean, Vern.
God, Ernest was such a gigantic part of my childhood, man.
Me too.
Oh, my God. When he dressed up as the old lady with the neck brace.
Yeah.
And he'd talk like this at the camera.
The only person out there that could replace Ernest P. Worrell.
Oh.
Or replace Jim Varney as Ernest P. Worrell.
Here comes controversy.
DJ Lewis.
DJ Lewis.
Check him out. Look him up. He's a comedian in Chattanooga. Pal of mine.
Oh, I've heard you talk about him.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you were to meet DJ Lewis, you would be like, holy shit.
He can be an Ernest.
Modern Ernest. Yeah.
Well, shit. That's about as high of a bar as you can
set
set for somebody.
So he already fits the mold.
Is he an alcoholic?
No.
Okay. Deals off. Deals off. Steve, the subject of our episode today is going to be the movie Frontier. Frontier. Which was suggested by one Mean Dean Roger Miller.
Yeah.
The notorious RDM
That's
who has
him.
contributed many a beer to our show. As a way to say thanks to him, we're like, you know what? We're going to do a movie you
whatever
suggest.
you want.
We watched this movie and we found it to be completely infested with Nazis.
There's tons of Nazis in here.
And I'm going to tell you what, I don't like no Nazis.
I don't care for a Nazi.
Nothing I care for more than seeing Nazis get put in their place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bring me 100 Nazi scalps.
Mm-hmm. We hate Nazis. Dead and lovely.
That is true. Official.
We hate Nazis.
Official position.
Official
Hate
stance.
Nazis.
I seriously have to think about it before I even say things like that because I'm like, I'm going to piss a lot of people off if I say I don't like Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people like Nazis these days.
Oh, we're already pissing people off because they're like, hey, don't talk politics in your horror movie
Alex Jones.
Hey, guess what? We have to.
Oh,
This entire movie is about
pretty
the
political.
exact politics that we're always talking about. So if you don't like those episodes, boy, you might want to turn around.
Yeah, this might not
I'll
be
tell
the one
what,
for you.
But I'll tell you what else. You should stay to learn that Trump didn't come out of nowhere and that this issue, far-right extremism, is a worldwide issue.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, we like to offer you a 100% refund.
That's true.
On what you spent to listen to this
you
show.
have it all back.
Yeah, exactly. All the money you spent to stream this podcast, we'll give it back to you. It's on us. So, Steve, I say before we get into the movie review portion, as we slip on into the preview palace.
Welcome to the preview palace.
I think we ought to spend a little bit of time here and maybe just talk about a couple of other times that we've loved seeing Nazis get their
killed.
damn asses whooped. Just get their damn old asses whooped. Because I've seen quite a few videos going around of Nazis standing on street corners shouting
punched.
hate and bullshit, idiocy stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about their so-called superior race.
Yeah.
Getting punched in the face.
Yeah, and a
Because
lot
look
of people,
here, guys. Here's the thing.
Go for it.
Freedom of speech is real.
It
in
is.
America, yes, you can say whatever you want to. That is your
100%.
right. But that does not mean that you are free of consequences if you run your fucking mouth.
Yeah, punching you's still going to be illegal. But guess what? Nobody else finds it unethical or immoral. Your face getting punched is a moral right we all have. Because you want to destroy people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you want.
That's
you want
what it all
to
stands for.
commit genocide. So guess what? You get punched in the face from time to time. And hopefully, eventually, we get rid of all of you. Because you're literally, your ideology is rounding up people and killing them.
Yeah. You're the bad guys.
You can talk all you want. But I really hope you also get rounded up and put in jail. And stay there.
Yeah.
Forever.
That'd be fine.
Because you're bad people. You know who else thinks a punch in the face is fair trade to Nazis? Captain fucking America.
Captain fucking America.
Yeah.
The first Avenger.
Yeah. He's been doing it forever.
Yeah, he has. He's been around the block a couple, 2-3 times in his time. Took that old super soldier serum.
And, man, I'll tell you what. That worked for quite a while. Everybody was like, yeah, fuck Nazis.
Yeah, it seemed like it did work for quite a while. The majority of my life, as far as I knew, everybody didn't like Nazis.
Yeah. Then there was also Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Ben, he taught us a lot.
Oh, man. They
fucking
keep
Nazi.
popping up, man. Those Nazis keep on popping up in those movies, and he just shuts them right down.
Yeah.
I enjoy myself in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
He's
He's
a
had
good old
interactions with Hitler, of course. Hitler signed the Grail Diary.
Oh, yeah.
Had a book burning. But yeah, Indiana did not... he didn't have any sort of concern troll feelings when it came to Nazis.
Well, here's the thing, and we talked about this on our Wildcard episode whenever we covered Ridge of the Lost Ark. Ultimately, Indiana Jones didn't have anything to do with that entire story.
Yeah, he really just, they were just in his way.
Yeah. Ultimately, the Nazis won. They got the Ark, and then it melted their faces off.
And it was like, haha.
Yeah, which would have happened even if he just would have stayed home that weekend.
That's true.
But he does dislike them.
That is true. He does. His dad really dislikes them.
Yeah.
That's Sean Connery, not a fan.
No, not a fan of those guys, which makes him a friend of mine. If you dislike the Nazi, I'm going to say that you're a good buddy of mine.
Uh-huh. Now, we covered a movie called Green Room, Ben. And that band in there, they sure didn't like them some Nazis. And playing in front of a bunch of skinheads, played Nazi Punks Fuck Off.
Pretty punk rock movie, if you ask me.
Not only did they not like Nazis, they let them know immediately.
That they did.
That's badass.
They put them in their place. God, that movie is fucking
brutal.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
it's
so
one of
good.
those ones that, in my head, I'm constantly thinking about how incredible that movie is.
Yeah.
It is absolutely amazing and visceral and real. But then at the same time, it's like, I don't want to watch that movie again.
It's brutal.
It's so fucking rough.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely amazing. Yeah, they definitely do hate them a Nazi. That movie is interesting, too, because it really just kind of shows how ultimately a lot of modern day Nazis are just like stray dogs looking for a family. Yeah. Ultimately, they are looking for a sense of community. I don't think that movie tries to drive a sympathetic angle where you're like, oh, feel bad for these fucking neo-Nazis.
Right.
I don't think it at all drives that.
No, that's never pushed.
You make a choice to hate people.
Right.
You know? You don't make a choice to need a family. If you're an outcast.
No. People want acceptance. But
yes.
You also, no matter how much you want acceptance, have to look at who's accepting you.
Yeah.
And whether or not you want their acceptance. If you do, you're making a choice.
Yeah.
You've made a choice at that point. I'd rather hate a bunch of people because these people accept me.
Right.
Than be alone.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that movie does a really good job of painting Nazis in this light where, you know, it's like pitiable is the only word that I can say, where you're just like, look how fucking pathetic and dumb these people are.
Yes.
It doesn't make you feel bad for them.
No.
But it also just shows you that they are pathetic.
They really are.
You know?
It's sad. Yeah, it's a real hard thing to approach because most of us, I think most good people want to say violence isn't the answer with, you know, anything.
Yeah.
But they get into their logic loops that you're not going to pull them out of.
Right.
Like, maybe if you got somebody close to you who's falling toward being a neo-Nazi, maybe you can help them.
Right.
Maybe you can. But if you run into a neo-Nazi on the street, there's nothing you're going to say that's going to change the way they think.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the tricky thing too, is ultimately like the cure for all of this stuff, for all of this hatred and this turning back towards these super right-wing fascist Nazi ways. You know, they won't listen if you just say you're wrong.
Right.
You're doing it wrong. You're living wrong. What you believe is bullshit. Mm-hmm. They won't listen.
Yeah, that's not going to work with anybody, honestly.
No.
Yeah.
It's like the best way to really get people to realize that their beliefs and all this stuff are bullshit is just to probably live alongside them and lead a good example.
Yeah, and that only works with some.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people just don't care.
No, some people absolutely do not care. But every now and then you read those stories about like this guy that, you know, this guy who was a neo-Nazi that worked at a restaurant with this black guy.
Yeah.
And the black guy is just like, well, you are the way you are. I'm just going to be nice to you anyway. And it fucking made this guy turn over a new leaf. It's like, I've watched some shit about, you know, isolated cases like that. And that's very awesome and very inspiring.
It's cool.
Yeah. But probably a pretty rare occurrence, unfortunately.
It's a much more rare occurrence than new people becoming neo-Nazis.
What you know about an Inglourious Bastard?
Boy, that's the perfect one, right? Like that is the perfect one to think of just Nazis getting killed with no shame.
No.
Just fuck them.
Unapologetic, unsympathetic.
Brad Pitt from Maynardville, Tennessee. Which is right near where I live.
Yeah, yeah.
And his accent is not exactly accurate
Brad
to
Pitt,
East Tennessee.
Not known for his accent
He's
work.
from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So he could do the Southern, but it just wasn't Tennessee.
No, not really.
Of course, they did that in Django Unchained, too. They went to Gatlinburg to a
yeah,
plantation.
they did.
There are no plantations in Gatlinburg.
No.
You don't put a plantation in the mountains.
No.
There were no plantations ever in East Tennessee, as far as I understand.
Tarantino should know better.
Yeah, because he...
being from fucking Tennessee and stuff, right?
That, the Inglourious Basterds team just... The idea, like, that's all they do. They just find Nazis and fucking scalp them.
Yeah.
That's their job.
The Bear Jew.
Awesome, man. Just fuck them.
Possible only good thing Eli Roth has ever done is being Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, that was really, really good. He was really good for that role.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, obviously, it's not even remotely based on anything that really happened.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
At the end of the movie,
it's based on Nazi exploitation films from the 50s and stuff.
Yeah. And at the end of the movie, you get these Jewish guys that just riddle Hitler with bullets. Just absolutely destroy him.
And they're just laughing.
Yeah, dude. He's got that intense look on his face and shit. And it shows Hitler just getting ripped up by bullets.
Great.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's so ridiculous because you're watching it and you're like, this is based on stuff that really happened. This is not how it happened.
Yeah.
But then you're going, but it should have happened this way. It would have been sick. It
would have been way better.
Yeah,
because like the world, like the world had like the biggest fucking kill Hitler boner, and then Hitler kills himself. What a fucking dick.
What a dweeb.
What a dick tease.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
I love that
probably
one
of my favorites.
That's one of those ones I'll watch just about any time.
Oh yeah,
too.
that movie's great. We can't mention best Nazi killers though without our final dude, B.J. Blastowski from Wolfenstein.
From fucking Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
The Doom predecessor.
Where you get to be the one killing the Nazi. I mean, because Wolfenstein 3D, that was like the first-person shooter, right?
Yeah,
I think
as far
so.
as,
It was like
as, far
the
as I
first-
know.
First one I played.
Everybody
for sure.
credits Doom. It's like, oh, Doom is the
right.
thing that created first-person shooter.
Yeah, but Doom came
was
after
before.
Wolfenstein, yeah.
Yeah, Wolfenstein was much before.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that I remember parents being really at odds because they're like, it's violent and there's blood and gore.
But they're killing
killing the
Nazis.
bad guys. That's the weird thing to me, too, dude, is like, with the way that a lot of our baby boomer parents and stuff believe shit now and just worship the girl that Trump
what
works
happened?
on. You know, it's
They
like
were the ones raised with fuck Nazis.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. That's what I don't fucking get. It's like,
But most of them, the thing is though, they were more raised with fuck communism, and that's how they are acting.
right.
They were more indoctrinated with fuck communism. And
Yeah,
they're
very
acting
much.
very much. But like, they just let that National Socialism slide on by.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
Because it's got socialism in the title, so that's you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Democratic socialism, it'd never work.
Nope.
Oh, wait, it already has worked.
Yeah, it works a lot.
But it's got that ugly S word in it that I don't like.
Yeah, I don't like the S word. Why don't we
God,
call
dude.
it something else without an S?
We should try that out.
Yeah.
That'd be a good idea.
Collectivism.
And let's clear the room here too. We're not at all saying on this fucking podcast that everybody that is a Republican is a damn Nazi, and that everybody that's a Republican thinks that supporting this stuff is okay.
Though I do look down on every Republican who did vote for Trump because you went against your own stated beliefs.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. If you voted for the grab him by the pussy guy,
you
I
went
think you're a
against what
fucking idiot.
you no longer have moral high ground, and
No.
you can no longer claim
No,
any
you're-
sort of Christian right
No,
or
fuck no.
any of that.
You're not the party
you
of
can
family
be Republican
values.
all you want.
Sure.
In fact, like I've said it before, there are only two sides that I really respect. I respect libertarians and I respect progressivist socialists because I think they're both on the same side in some ways. They both believe in the innate goodness of humanity. Like, we don't need regulation because people do the right thing, or we need all these things to save people. Either way, they're both great people.
Right.
So I believe, like, if somebody says I vote Republican, okay, I get it. You're voting towards that side. You believe in the goodness of people.
Yeah.
But you know Donald Trump's not. You know he's
Don't
not
fucking
good.
kid yourself, man.
Yeah,
He's
And
not a
don't
fucking
give
Christian.
us that. Oh, every politician's bad. No, they're not. They're not Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They're not all Donald Trump, and you know it. But yeah, again, we're not saying everybody has to vote Democrat or whatever.
No,
you can be
absolutely
Republican
not.
all you want. People will say, like, people easily try to dismiss any argument against Trump when they say, like, you know, well, what about when Obama did this and this and this? And it's like, and I fucking got mad about it.
Yeah, exactly.
When Obama was
Yeah.
always fucking bombing people in the Middle East, bombing weddings, killing tons of civilians, and
Yeah.
reclassifying every man as a militant. Like,
Not a fan.
that was fucking bullshit, and I
Yeah,
hated
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
I
And
100% hated everything Obama did other than a few small things.
Yeah, totally.
And I don't like neoliberals.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm not into that.
Yeah, and we don't sweep that shit under the rug because, well, it's for the blue team, so I can fucking justify it. So dumb, dude.
It is real dumb.
Party loyalty is absolute
Yeah.
horseshit.
Well, we need more parties. We
Maybe
do.
it's just that, you
Yeah.
know?
We
Or
maybe
no
do.
parties.
But guess how that worked out in France, Ben?
I'm gonna
It
guess.
inspired
Not so
this
good.
movie.
Bum, bum, bum. This came out in 2007. And I'm going to tell you what, Steve. I don't know anything about French politics. Woo!
Let me tell you just a little. I won't go too far into it, but so they have 2 rounds of voting for the president, and the first round is seriously like probably 10, 15 parties.
Okay.
And they all have, you know, their different expressed concerns. But basically, they take then the top 2 vote getters and then have a second round.
So it's kind of primaries.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically, basically like a primary, except the party has already determined who they're sending. But since there's so many parties, there's so many people to choose from. So in 2002, what happened was Jean-Marie Le Pen. Yeah.
We apologize in advance for our French
Oh yeah, I
pronunciations.
cannot pronounce stuff in French. He won the nomination from the National Front Party and made it to the second round. Now the National Front Party.
That sounds aggressive and intimidating just from the name.
It is aggressive.
It sounds like a skinhead punk band.
Basically.
We are National Front
Yep.
for Washington.
Yeah, so he made it to the second round. He got completely destroyed in the second round, but what that showed was there are enough people in the nation that would get basically a white supremacist into office potentially.
Wow.
And so that scared the shit out of Javier Gens, the director-writer of this.
Okay.
And he came up with this idea, basically, where this movie starts with a right-wing extremist presidential candidate has won the election, and Paris is rioting. And this group of Muslim youths, and is Tom Muslim? I think he's just white. The blonde guy.
I'm not exactly sure.
Anyway, this group of Muslims youths ends up.
I think he is. He doesn't eat. He doesn't eat the pork and stuff.
Oh right, yeah,
yeah.
They end up in confrontation with some backwoods Nazis. So he was idea there was that, like, you know, that would be crazy. We got so close to it. We're like on the precipice, and then in this movie they say he's their George Bush, which is like real quaint at this point.
Dude, that's what I was thinking about too.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about. I was watching that and he was like, oh, we finally got our George Bush. And I was like, just wait until you get your Donald Trump, dude. Just fucking.
But
just
this guy
wait.
was actually more Donald Trump than George W. Bush, I'd say.
Wow.
But very interestingly, 10 years later in 2017, Jean-Marie Le Pen's daughter, working out of the same party, Marine Le Pen, she made it to the second round. And it was also not as close, or not as far away, but still, like, not close. I think she got like 30% of the vote.
Yikes.
But again, that's a third of the people in the country.
Right.
That's scary.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt. Well, that's the thing, is just like, and it's what we've seen with seeing the rise of Trump in America, is just when you thought a lot of these things, a lot of this hatred was extinguished, and then you find out that it's your neighbors, it's your relatives, it's everybody around you. It's just walking around secretly with all this shit in their heads. Yeah. And they keep it quiet until there's a man that's running for office. Then they're like, that's my fucking guy.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Grab him by the pussy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's him.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So
it is scary.
Anyway, though, Emmanuel Macron was the one who won in France, and he was supposed to be very progressive. Yeah. And since he's not exactly, that's why Paris is rioting currently.
Oh yeah. Boy, watching the footage of that has been crazy.
Paris is full of people who have, for centuries it seems, gone out in the streets every fucking time that they want to prove their point. Yeah. Whereas here in America, we don't.
Yeah, we might tweet about it or put up a Facebook post about it. I was thinking about that. Like I was really thinking about it. I was like, what is the point where anybody in America follows suit and paints the outsides of political buildings with literal shit? Yeah. Like they did in France. Uh-huh. Did you see those videos? No. Dude, like it was crazy. Like they had gathered up like waste and like horse shit and all this stuff. That's great. And sprayed political buildings with it. Yeah. It's like, at what point in America does it get to there? I'm not saying that that's the answer and that people should. I'm just seriously wondering.
Like they had a very similar election to ours where the candidate who was supposed to be progressive ends up being not very progressive, and that was Hillary Clinton. Like she's not a very progressive. No, like she's neoliberal to the core, which is very much like 70s conservative.
Exactly right.
So like their election just went the opposite direction. Like basically they got this, and then getting this guy in didn't get them any of what they wanted, and it still led to extreme dissatisfaction. So like I don't know like how 2016 would have gone differently if Hillary Clinton had won, but I feel like it still would have been a lot of protesting, and I don't think it would. Like I think it may have been more unifying protesting too, where progressive Democrats would have been like, we really need you to remember that you are supposed to represent us all, not just your corporate friends.
Right. That's interesting. You're saying that Republicans would have hated her. Also, a lot of Democrats would have hated her too.
Yes, they would have.
That's very true.
And a lot of Republicans do hate Trump.
They do.
I think we're still in a similar area. It's just like, it's so much easier to hate Trump.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're into politics and following what Hillary Clinton's doing, you just assume like, well, she's our team, so things are going great.
Yeah.
And a lot of Republicans are the same way. They think, well, Trump's our team, so things are going great.
Right.
Like, they're not paying attention to any of the stuff he's actually doing.
Exactly. Yeah. It really was the ultimate turd sandwich versus douche situation.
Yeah, well, the douche is way better than a turd sandwich, because douche, you can clean out whatever you got going on. It's turd sandwich, you just got a fucking turd on a piece of bread.
On some bread. It's not good.
Yeah. I think it's an easy choice.
So that kind of inspired this movie, which is crazy to me, because I kind of was thinking about this whole rise of this kind of neoconservatism and super right wing as being like, wow, here's this new thing that's being birthed in America in 2016 and stuff. Not really.
No, it's been going throughout Europe for over a decade. I mean, Greece has had to deal with the rise in nationalism and fascism. So Italy, like, I mean, what's his name? Mussolini's granddaughter is running for political office.
I forgot about that. Yeah. That's right.
She got real mad about people talking shit about Mussolini. It's like, what?
Hey, that was my pepper.
Yeah, well, your pepper fucking sucked. But the thing is, though, that's interesting. So this is a part of the new French Extremity, which we've talked about before. Go check out
our Raw episode,
which I think
that's a good episode. Raw is an awesome movie. It's gross.
It is great. I love Raw.
High Tension also is in that category.
Also High Tension. Yeah, High Tension, I talked a good bit about New French Extremity, so if you want to know more about it, you can go check that out. But I just want a quick refresher. Is basically it's a transgressive French film movement that began around the turn of the 21st century. And it has roots, though, in tons of French literature and art, specifically things like the Marquis de Sade and Grand Guignol.
Naughty
tradition.
Boys.
Yeah?
Naughty Boys.
That's the Grand Guignol tradition in theater was basically just really bloody theater.
Right.
Yeah,
is that kind of what you saw in Interview with the Vampire?
Yeah.
That kind of theater?
Yeah, that sort of thing, yeah. But yeah, so like movies, some of the titles, like, real easy to recognize, maybe Trouble Every Day, Irreversible, High Tension we mentioned,
Martyrs, Inside is one I think.
Inside, right?
Yeah. I've not seen that. I don't know anything about it. I've heard it's fucked up.
And then Revenge is a more recent one that was on Shudder. It was good. I liked it.
But it's all basically a reaction to this growing conservatism.
Yeah, it was a reaction to this growing like conservatism. Like, the filmmakers don't have like any particular like vision of social justice or like public policy or anything. They're just reacting to it. So some of the movies you'll watch seem to be celebrating it, while others are obviously reacting against it. And this is definitely one that's reacting against it. But like, they all still fit into this genre. It doesn't matter if they're pro or anti. They're still part of this new French Extremity.
Yeah.
And one of the reviews I read of this movie was in the Village Voice. And I don't remember who wrote it, but I'm not gonna talk shit about him, because I don't know. I just don't know his situation. But like, he, in talking about this, said basically that this was playing off of the tradition of like Hostel and stuff. And I was like,
kind of torture porn.
How would you be a film writer for the Village Voice and not know about New French Extremity? Like, how would you be in 2007 and not know that this is not coming from Hostel? This is coming from a completely different tradition throughout France. So like, I don't know, it was hard for me to take that seriously.
Sure.
When they don't know that this is rooted in something very French, and that those movies are actually taking from that. It's the opposite. But this movie really fits into it, but also has a lot of those things you don't love about it.
Yeah.
It fits into the New French Extremity, but oh gosh, it's
not
a
that
great
great.
movie.
Yeah, I can't say that I really liked it. Ultimately, I guess I would say the whole kind of framing device of this entire movie is pretty generic in terms of horror storylines. I mean, basically, some well-meaning-ish, but not really, people end up getting ambushed by a backwoods fucked up family, tortured, killed, blah blah blah, escape.
They remind me more of the family from The Hills Have Eyes than the kids of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it's hard to care about any of them much.
Yeah,
the kids in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think, like, well, maybe it's hard to care about them too much either. Sally's fine, but everybody else is just like,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, you just don't care about. And like, they're actively bad people. Like, they were committing a robbery during the political riots. Like,
right. Yeah.
They were using this moment where people were reacting negatively to something that's going to affect them as a group of Muslim youths. They were using that as a distraction to steal.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
So they're not good people.
No, not at all.
But you still don't want them to get what happens to them.
No.
It definitely is terrible.
Exactly. Yeah, this film definitely wears a lot of those influences of, like you said, Texas Chainsaw, Hills Have Eyes on its sleeve.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
very openly. I mean, it even has a fucking dinner scene like Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
This is so mirroring what we said about House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
You know, where it's just like, golly, you people love CCM, man.
Like,
and I do too, but try something fucking different.
If I didn't believe better of this writer-director, I would say this is more House of a Thousand Corpses than it is any of the previous movies, because it doesn't seem to be as rooted in those movies. It seems to just be a real stark sort of rip-off of just like, oh, it's got those things, yeah, we'll have those things too, with no soul whatsoever.
Yeah, just a bunch of grimy, shitty people in awful, gross situations. Yeah. You'll love it.
Yeah.
It's not really. But at the same time, though, it's like you can do that kind of thing and get a really deep, profound response. I mean, I've talked about Irreversible many times on the show. It's a movie full of despicable people in horrible, horrific situations. Yeah. But it still really, really does get a very emotional response. I mean, it makes you feel like I'll never be happy again. That movie is just the worst.
Texas Chainsaw at least invites us into like the cook. We see him in like weird, vulnerable moments. The same with like Leatherface. Yeah, we see all of them have like actual emotional moments. None of these people, they're just going through the motions, which is scary.
Yeah,
that the family has done this so much, and we see like all the stuff they've taken from all the people they've killed. It's a lot, but it's still like it's hard to be invested in it. Yeah, it's hard to care.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't ever feel like anybody's very human except our main character at the end. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't even really feel they're that human in the middle of it. Like, you don't connect to them still, because it's like and this is definitely a writing issue. They make those dumb 80s decisions so often where it's like,
yeah, let's split up.
Yeah, let's split up. Oh, they're chasing me. I'll take this elevator down a mine shaft into a mine. They'll never be able to get me there.
No.
Like, they're just constantly making dumb, bad decisions. It's hard to put yourself in their place.
Yeah.
Because you keep thinking, I would not do that.
Right. Yeah, that is the thing about it.
It's like House of a Thousand Corpses, where you just don't care about anybody.
No, not really. I do think, though, that this movie, in a lot of ways, I think ultimately kind of what I got about it is that it is showing you the extreme left versus the extreme right.
Yes.
And I think the fact that you and I are both people that are very, I think, morally very liberal.
Yeah.
You know, socially very liberal.
Yeah.
But ultimately are...
understanding
people that don't affiliate ourselves blindly with any party,
right? And
just call bullshit for bullshit. It doesn't matter who says it or who does it.
Yeah,
if it's red or blue, if it's bullshit, it's bullshit. Yeah. I think that this makes it a little bit different for us to watch this movie, because I think that some people watching this, okay, I'll put it this way: I think this movie is almost there to be like a litmus test,
right?
To where it's like when you watch this movie and you've got fucked up Nazi family, extreme right.
Yes.
Then you've got Islamic thieving cop killers.
Right.
Extreme left.
Right.
You could even take the money robbing thing as being like a message for socialism or communism or whatever,
they're just taking whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and it's like, okay, are you going to ignore how shitty the super left Muslims are because they're getting killed by Nazis? Are you going to ignore that stuff? Are you going to feel bad for them because, oh, the Nazis are doing bad things for them? Or if you're super right wing, are you watching this movie
and thinking they're getting what they deserve?
Yeah, being like, oh, those Muslims get what they deserve, while ignoring the fact that it's literal Nazis doing it.
Yeah.
Is it kind of a litmus test to see who you feel sympathy for?
I think a lot of people are on that side of, I mean, I didn't think this before, but it does seem that a lot of people are on that side of, I want justice.
Yeah.
And their sense of justice is the people that are doing the things I don't like.
Right.
And whatever happens to them, like, I may not agree with it, but I'm glad that it's happening because they're doing those things I don't like.
Yeah.
It's, that's scary to think about. Yeah, actually, I guess in that way, this movie turns it on its head and says, like, look at the audience watching this. Mm-hmm. Like, observe them.
Right.
Like, they're the ones that you need to be watching because how they're reacting to this is who they are.
Right. Yeah. It's like ultimately you could look at this movie as being very extreme right versus extreme left, but at the same time trying to call attention to a center where it's saying both sides of this are fucked up.
Right.
You know, these Middle Eastern kids killed a cop and robbed banks.
Yeah.
They're shit. These people that are fucking Nazis are shit.
Yeah.
It's like both sides are garbage. Maybe that's what this movie is trying to draw attention to, is a center.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think this movie does have a very strong message throughout that those kids definitely aren't getting something they deserve.
Mm-hmm. I think it tries to frame it that way.
Yeah, that basically maybe putting it in the sense that, like, okay, if we let this group of young Muslim kids do whatever they want, what they'll do is rob a bank and maybe kill a cop in the process of that.
Right.
But if we let this Nazi family do whatever they want, they will kill all these people and not feel a thing about it. There's a much bigger, like, issue with that than what's going on with them. So I think it gives us to the consistent, like, reminders that the Nazis are bad, like the reminders of the Holocaust and things like that. Like, specifically, one of the deaths is basically in an oven. They're killing them because they're Muslim. The dad, or whatever he is, father von Giesler, he says at one point, "My honor is loyalty," which used to be the motto of the Nazi SS.
Our bot Marked Fry, which is the Auschwitz gates slogan.
Right as he's cutting the hamstrings of Alex, he's saying, like, you know, work makes you free,
right?
Which was what was on the gates of Auschwitz. So, like, we're being reminded that they're always bad,
right?
Like, there's a consistent history of them always being bad, but there's like a hope with our group of Muslim teenagers or 20-year-olds or whatever they are. There's hope with them. Like, what's her name? Yaz. She wants to get out of the car after her brother dies. She just she doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. And then also whenever Tom, like, puts, what's the other dude's name? Crap.
Yeah, and all the names in this, I was like,
there's a ton
whatever.
of, well, and because you don't, like,
we're not
care, saying them the way they say them.
There's that too. There's that too.
Fareed. Tom and Fareed, whenever Tom, like, puts him in a headlock and says, like, get out of the fucking car or whatever.
It was, like, weird.
It was a weird moment. It was also a moment where, like, you see that, like, Fareed maybe is just going along with a lot of this.
Right.
But then we also get that with the family, with Hans and Ava.
Yeah.
Because they're taking care. They have kids that they're hiding from their dad in this mine.
Right. Which is something that is very akin to, you know, during World War II, they were killing people that were born with birth defects, Down syndrome.
Yeah, they were killing everybody.
They were killing all of them.
Yeah,
so
which is what like, that's the end of Nazism is you're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, not just the people that you currently think are gonna die. You too, because you're poor. You're all gonna fucking die. And like everybody who's supporting these people thinking, oh yeah, like white supremacists, well, I'm white, it's fine.
Yeah, no.
No, eventually it's gonna be, I don't like the color of your hair.
Exactly.
I don't like where you're from.
That's the thing, right? Is like ultimately, even if everybody in the fucking world was white, it would be, I hate those green eyes.
Yep.
I hate them red-haired. Yep. It's like it would always come back to something, man. It would always fucking come back to something.
And the next one's religion. So, by the way, just all you people out there, the next one is religion. So, if you're an evangelical, you're part of the majority, and you're part of the people who constantly praise Trump. So, if you're not an evangelical, you're on the train next.
Look out. Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's just, like, how stupid can you be to follow that ideology? It's going to kill you. Yeah. Like, eventually, you either are the only one left, or you're being killed.
Right. By the one who's left.
Yeah.
So they're hiding their children and stuff like this. They're kind of going along with it.
Like, they might be good people. Ava might be good. Hans, whenever Farid is in the... Or Alex. Is it Alex? Fuck. No, Farid. Alex is one of the first that dies.
Here's the thing. You shouldn't have so many men with shaved heads in the same movie. I've run into this in other flicks, too, where I'm like, I can't tell who anybody is. Men with shaved heads, you all look the fucking same. You really do.
But yeah, so like when Farid is in the oven, basically.
Yeah. Ooh, it's
Hans
so gross.
is there.
Brutal.
And the way he's reacting is like he doesn't like that it's happening.
Yeah. No, that was kind of an odd beat.
And then he puts him out of his misery immediately.
He does. Yeah, that was odd to me. Whenever he had him in that oven and he was cranking up the steam and stuff, it's like you'd expect him to be doing twisted Nazi grinning and laughing. Oh, Heil Hitler. Ha, ha, ha. But no, he's kind of like, he's kind of like looking at the ground like, I wish he would just stop screaming. I wish this would be over with.
Yeah, which is a reminder, that not an excuse, but a reminder that there were tons of people in those concentration camps who probably didn't feel good about it.
Yeah.
But you still did it.
Yeah.
So
but it's ultimately showing too. It's like even if you have good intentions, going along with orders,
going along with it, don't do it.
Still get you in the wrong places. Still get you in the wrong places. You know.
Yeah.
But ultimately too, that whole thing about this being this right versus left extreme kind of thing. It's kind of interesting that the story starts with the narration of what we'd perceive as a left-wing character and what you would perceive as the most sympathetic right-wing thing ever. An unborn fetus sonogram.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing melts the hearts of the right wing more than a fetus.
Well, and it does that exact thing. Yaz doesn't die because she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And they won't kill her. But that's also the very interesting thing is that, like, as she escapes, as she's driving away and the radio's playing, the radio's talking about the new president.
Yeah.
And that's when she starts like rubbing her belly and then like screaming hysterically because she realizes she's not escaping anything.
Right.
She's not getting away from it. It's her world. And she can't change who she is or anything of that sort. And that solidifies, I think, in that moment, her decision to get that abortion.
Yeah.
And then she's stopped by the police.
Right.
Like, there is some element there of like, both sides, I guess, where either side sort of is playing into the worst fears of the other side.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say that this whole thing about, a horror movie where you do have this, again, very Hills Have Eyes scenario, but ultimately it's showing you right versus left the entire movie. I do think that is a cool concept. And that could lead to something very, very interesting with a lot of like gray area.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things in this that don't really make any sense to me, especially where
a ton of it
comes to the Nazi stuff. So, like, whenever the dudes arrive at the inn, and you've got the blonde chick and the brunette chick that are sisters, that are the Nazis.
What were their names?
Giesel or no, it's not Giesel. It's
something like that though. Gilbert and Claudia.
Yeah, those two. Like, whenever it shows them and they're, like, seducing the two dudes, but then they have this, like, lesbian makeout scene.
Yeah, and they're sisters.
They're sisters, and it's like the Nazis killed gays. That was one of the things they specifically did, is kill gays.
Yeah.
So, for one, I don't really understand that.
Yeah, that's a strange bit.
Yeah. Also, just as a little PS on that, I find it really odd that this movie was so like skittish and squeamish about sex.
It was.
It didn't show anything.
Yeah. Which is fine, but
Yeah,
it's also
fine,
like,
but
if you're going to be so like gory and brutal about everything, and then get real close to showing sex, what stopped you?
Yeah, and then
what
duck out.
What stopped you from taking the next step?
Yeah, exactly. To me, that was just kind of like odd, especially considering a lot of these other French movies don't even flinch at showing you unbelievably explicit stuff. Not saying it would have made it better. I just think that it's odd. Also, too, the weird thing about the Nazi thing that I don't get in here is why did they take Yasmin in as like essentially a breeder? They're trying to keep the master race pure.
He
by
sort of nods to the fact that doesn't make sense, but doesn't change the fact that it doesn't make sense, and they're going with it. Like,
I mean, ultimately, it kind of comes down to, but it's all we got. So
yeah.
But the thing is you see when they're in that kill room, they've had like dozens and dozens of people come through that inn.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think that they would just be like, we'll wait until we get a perfect Aryan in here or whatever, and then that'll become our breeder.
Right.
But instead, they're just like, there's some brown Middle Eastern people here. Whatever they'll do for the master race. Yeah. That makes no sense.
It's a real
and also
leap.
They want to raise her baby as one of their own.
Yeah, and
that's a brown baby
is another Middle Eastern.
That's a brown baby. Like, that makes zero sense to me why they would do that.
You know what I hadn't considered, Ben, is that in this movie, one side is some Middle Eastern teenagers who probably Algerian or something like that, or from North Africa perhaps, because those are most of the like Middle Eastern population in France.
Yeah,
but the other side is a family that comes from Germany, so neither side is representative of like some master French.
That's
person.
True.
Like,
yeah. There's just things that have leaked into their country. Yeah, from other situations.
It's like an accepted part of the movie that France is this amalgamation of things. France is this meeting of different cultures. Yeah, a melting pot of different cultures, and that meeting is causing a lot of these tensions.
Yeah.
And it's real interesting to see that. I guess the only people who you would consider like the model Frenchmen are the police. Those are the only model Frenchmen we see throughout the movie.
They're wearing berets. They have striped shirts. One of them's a mime.
That's true. It's weird. I think he's saying stop, but you can't figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he tried putting a box around the criminals.
Yeah, he was like,
yeah, I have this box around myself. Now I'll put you in it. Then they just ran away, and he was like, the illusion is spoiled. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Man, it's real interesting, though, that like there's obviously like some idea that goes into this. I just feel like I don't know how the extreme violence and gore and stuff like that, like, yeah, I don't get where the violence comes in and means anything or helps us understand it at all.
I think it was just so it would have a scene to fit in. I think it was just like, Sacre bleu, if my movie had fit into this extreme scene, it is one of the 8 films to die for, monsieur.
I make the escargot. That's what this is.
That's what he says.
Javier Gens, he said, I make the escargot.
Yeah, it seems kind of superfluous at the end of the day, honestly. Yeah. And this movie is so unrelentingly brutal that it ceases being brutal.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it really does. And like a lot of it is shot in that real kinetic style where the camera's moving a lot and stuff. And it's just like, it really burns you out too quick. All of it just happens so quick and stuff, and then it just keeps happening, and you're like,
There is no pacing.
Yeah, there is no pacing
in this movie.
The movie both goes super fast and feels like one of the longest movies I've ever watched.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's overly long. It's an hour and 40 minutes. It shouldn't be.
It's the kind of thing, man, where if you're driving on the country roads and stuff and you're going 20 miles per hour and then you hop on the interstate for 15 minutes and you're going 90, you're like, yeah, I'm going fast. But whenever you're on that straight stretch of interstate and you're going 90 the whole time, guess what? It doesn't feel fast.
No, because it's just straight.
It's just
you're
straight.
Just going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, during the start and stop and stuff like that, like, you know, well, on the way over here, both of us got stuck in that roadwork traffic.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And, you know, when you're puttering around going 5 miles an hour and then you finally get to put the hammer down and you floor it, then you really feel like you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
This movie is in like fifth gear going 90 the whole time. And it's an hour and 40. Like, it's pretty fucking long. It is. I kind of kept checking, like, really, how much longer do I have left in this movie?
About 45 minutes in, the only person left is Jazz.
Yeah, basically.
So it's really just her dealing with watching her basically being tortured.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested. Just like some of the scenes reminded me of the scene from Mother of Jennifer Lawrence, you know.
I was getting the shit beat out of her and stuff.
Yeah, but it just kept happening.
Right. And it loses its effect, doesn't it?
Its effect. Yeah,
it really does.
Okay.
Well,
so
again,
this is going to happen
it's
again.
like what we said about House of a Thousand Corpses. It's like for movies that clearly worship Texas Chainsaw, they sure did miss the fucking point.
Yeah.
You know, this movie just goes out of its way to show you how horrific and gross and grimy and dingy and brutal everything is, and show you every time, you know, a hook pierces flesh, or every time somebody gets shot or stabbed or punched or whatever. It shows you all of it. It leaves nothing to the imagination at all.
Yeah.
And it's worse for it, you know? And it also has that entire, like, okay, the movie came out in 2007, but it looks like a 2002 American horror movie. Everything has that dingy blue teal. It's that thing that The Ring started, honestly. You know what I want to do? I want to have like a fucking film class or something like that that's about the cinematography of horror movies.
Yeah.
And I want to go back through with Texas Chainsaw and reinsert like a grimy, gritty blue filter over the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, just to show how bad it makes the movie.
And I want to ask the class, is this better now?
Yeah,
Does this make it better? Yeah. At what fucking point did all these directors start going, you know what would look better? Yeah, I got it. If it had that shitty teal thing.
One of the worst.
It looks like a movie.
One of the worst is the director of It, Andy Muschietti. He directed Mama.
Mm-hmm.
Every scene in that is either blue, orange, or green.
That's the plague of movies from this decade, dude.
And it is infuriating the whole time for me. I was just like, this is ruining. Like, this should be more stark. Like, give us a more stark feeling to it. Take those whatever you got on. Like, I'm thinking it's filters, but then it's like, I think it's something they do with the computer afterwards, because there's
it's a lot of post stuff for sure. Yeah, but this movie definitely suffers from that shitty blue tint. Like, you know what it looks like? Every outdoor scene, I won't say every, almost every outdoor scene in this movie, it looks like what it looks like whenever it's here in the South and like a tornado is about to hit and the sky turns that like green color, and it makes everybody's skin look weird. Like it makes everybody look like a zombie. You know what I mean? It looks like it's constantly just about tornado season everywhere in these movies. And it sucks. It doesn't look real, man. Texas Chainsaw looks real.
Just imagine, though, if you're watching one of those movies and the whole time you're like, man, fuck this shit. And then suddenly they're like, wait,
storms are brewing. I'd be like, that's why I look that way.
Okay.
And they just now noticed?
Yeah. Well, there were other things going on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's a lot of shaky cam stuff. There's a lot of really dark stuff in this too. Some of it was kind of effective, and some of it, I'll say this, I think the more effective parts, you pointed out this earlier, just ripped directly from The Descent.
Yes.
When the guys are crawling through that tunnel.
With the camera, basically using the night vision.
Yeah, using a camera for the night vision. That is from The Descent, which came out a couple years before this, right?
Yes, it did. And those creatures, they're basically similar to the creatures in Descent, except they don't attack.
They have glowing eyes for some fucking reason in the night vision. Yeah, you just find out that they're just the deformed children of Hans and Ava. You know, they're humans. They're not
there's
monsters.
some weird supernatural element there that just comes in for some reason. Because, why do their eyes glow? What is going on with them? They're not related. Hans and Ava aren't, because they say Ava was kidnapped.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah,
it's not even like it's not
incestuous thing. Yeah, inbred kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I was very perplexed by that. There were just so many elements to this that were just like, they don't fit. And again, like, I'm still not sure. Well, I mean, like, I think you're right that it is saying something about both sides. It's doing some Trump both sidesism, I guess. And it does still obviously make the Nazis look worse. But I'm still not getting the full message, because at the end, Yasmin still goes out into this world that is the same thing. Like,
right. Yeah.
She's just escaped the threat of that family, but now she's got an entire country that is threatening her.
Well, and that's the thing that ultimately I think is the scariest about this is she went to this inn. She found out these people that seemed totally normal turned out to be these
crazy.
Yeah, newly empowered Nazis that hate her, and they're newly empowered because of the political power that just came into office. So then, especially as a person who is, a brown person who's a Muslim, has probably seen their fair share of discrimination.
Yeah.
You probably have to look at just about everybody at that point and go,
and think there's
do
that
you
person.
secretly hate me? You know? It's like if you're a Mexican living in America right now.
Yeah, you do have to think that.
Yeah, every white dude you look at, you're like, do you actually want to just deport me though?
Yeah, my pal Vicente was talking about, like, he went with his girlfriend to Arizona where she was from.
Yeah.
And, like, he was getting a lot of looks because they lived in a white neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he asked me, he was like, if I was in Tennessee, like, how would people react? And I was like, yeah, probably about the same.
Right.
Yeah. Like, that's
It's scary to know that there's people among you that hate you.
Yeah.
That's scary to know, but it's scarier to know that there's people among you that hate you, and also they're the ones that are running the country right now. They're the ones that are in power. That has to be very scary. Again, that's one of those things that as a fucking straight white dude, I am invulnerable to. I have never been anywhere where I'm like, they hate straight white people. Steve, let's drink a cold beer. This is a Urban Artifact Kaleidoscope. We've been enjoying an Urban Artifact
we've had a few of those
lately. Yeah, and I've had a few at some restaurants and stuff. They're so good. It is a pineapple, orange, and guava Midwest fruit tart.
Midwest fruit tart.
Midwest fruit tart. It is 9.1%.
Oh wow.
That's a big old beer.
It's got a smell off of it. Fruity.
Yep. Apparently, I was supposed to turn this over and get some of the sediment to the top.
Whatever.
Did not do that. It will probably be okay. This Midwest...
no sediment.
Oh, he's gone. This Midwest fruit tart has 1,500 pounds of pineapple, 600 pounds of guava, 500 pounds of orange.
So it's like a sour, but like high alcohol.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I'll look forward to checking this out. It looks kind of like the last one. It looks like pureed fucking oranges and stuff like that. Very cloudy. It's got some stuff floating around in it. What's that like? Is it good?
It's so fruity.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That's nice.
A little bit of fruit there.
That has that guava-like tartness to it.
It does. Yeah, the guava flavor comes through real well. But
shockingly, that's the one that's like really standing out to me. It's the flavor of all that guava floating around in that thing.
Like me some guava.
That's good, man.
That is good, yeah.
I cannot believe that is nearly 10% alcohol.
Yeah, no, this just tastes like any other sour.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no, like, strong alcohol flavor off
I would guess this is like 4.5.
Yeah,
you
like
know what
a
I mean?
normal sour.
Yeah, there's no burn or anything like that. That's pretty dang good.
Way to go, guys.
I am very okay with that. Everything I've had from them has been awesome. I also got one from them that was a... it was like a blackberry... What was it? Blackberry and blueberry or something like that. Sour.
Oh.
And it was awesome, man.
Yeah.
It was so good. I'm glad we kind of open up to a lot of these more sour beers. That's kind of the cool thing to like right now.
Yeah. We're the cool kids liking sour beers.
You know, one thing in this movie that stood out to me, too, that wasn't really explicitly addressed in the movie, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because I think that you know a lot more about Islam than I do.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
But one of the things in this movie that struck me as, like, truly extremely fucked up, it's like, yeah, okay, there's a guy that gets impaled on a running circular saw. That's awesome. Fucked up. There's a guy that gets steamed to death, all this kind of stuff.
That was
guy
real
gets
brutal.
his Achilles tendons cut and all that jazz.
Oh.
But that scene where Yaz and her baby daddy are in the pig pen, and basically she has to
crawl through the pig shit.
Yeah, she has to like tunnel under that gate to get through it and basically swim through pig shit. If I'm not mistaken, that is one of those things that is explicitly not allowed in Islam, is contact with pigs, especially their blood.
The fact that they were even putting them in there with the pigs would be a major insult.
I mean, basically, isn't that just like condemning them to hell?
You can't force someone into sin. I guess there would be. Islam is, of course, like Christianity. There are a ton of different interpretations.
Yeah.
But I took classes on classical Islam, so I would say in the Quran, the idea would be that no one could force you into sin. So,
but even the fact that they are forcing to do this thing that is explicitly forbidden, even though it's like, this ain't my bad, but this is ultimately one of the worst possible things I could do. That's fucked up.
Yeah, and she was going to get an abortion at the beginning of the movie, so that was also like she was going to do something that would be against her religion, and then she gets forced into a bunch of other things that would be against her religion, and it's like the thing that she was going to do almost condemns her to those things. But yeah, I think in that was specifically aimed at punishing them for being Middle Eastern.
That's pretty fucking brutal.
It is brutal. It's a hopeless movie, basically.
It is. Yeah, it's very fucking nihilistic, very bleak, very hopeless. I wish that I spoke the language so that I could really say that these people were doing a good or bad job. I don't feel like I'm really entitled to do that.
They're yelling all the time.
Everybody's
That's generally
yelling.
not good acting.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah. I'll say the things that kind of stood out to me about the acting in this movie is the chick playing Yasmin there.
Oh, she's real good in those last 30 minutes where she's in shock. Like she's like shaking, but not like she's doing it in a way that like people because when you're in shock, you actually do get cold. Like,
So
like she's
involuntarily
shaking and tremoring in a way
right.
that looks very much like being in shock.
Yes,
she's doing it so well.
I thought the same thing. That's something that I wrote over and over in my notes. Is just like incredible shock acting, amazing shock acting and stuff. Because you see all these movies where these, final girls are going through such horrendous shit. Yeah. And they just seem like stone cold, like another day at the office. I'm going to get the fuck out of here and stuff like that. That is
my
not
friends are
how you
dead.
act. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you went through that kind of stuff, you'd be acting like what she did.
Yeah. Like Sally Hardesty at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where she's just like, she's out of her head, just like laughing and crying and covered in blood. It's very similar, but I think she does like such a perfect job of it.
And also comes across as very like animalistic when she like bites fucking chick's throat open and
that
stuff.
Was awesome.
That was brutal.
They did that in I think it's in the Walking Dead comic as well, but they did it in the Walking Dead like a few seasons ago. And it's just so animalistic to see somebody just go for the throat with their teeth.
Literally,
yeah, like
go for the throat.
Like an animal. I think in the end, this is a movie that it's worth maybe trying to figure out. Maybe worth a watch if you're into new French Extremity or...
It's part of that scene.
I mean, if you're into that, I think it fits in there. But it's not as good as some of the others, for sure. It's not as good as Raw. It's not as good as... It's not even as good as High Tension, which is a movie I didn't love.
Yeah, High Tension is just like, it's good. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. But, I don't know. It does have some interesting political points to sort of go through, and they're relevant today. Like, this is a movie that's 12 years old, but
very relevant.
Even more relevant in America today than it was in 2007.
Always like a decade behind Europe.
Sure.
So we could have watched this and seen the writing on the wall.
Right. We should have known Trump was going to win because of Frontiers.
And it does have its merits. I mean, I do love the fact that they were as restrained as they could be with the CGI. Most of the effects and stuff in this are practical. Yeah. Like there's not a lot of that.
There's only one that looked bad. Everything
the headshot.
Else, the headshot looked like, that's obviously...
It was almost like comically gory. Yeah. Where it's like all that's left is like his bottom jaw and stuff like that. Yeah. I rewound that and watched that a few times. It kind of surprised me, which was cool, I guess.
If somebody were to tell me it's real, like that would be crazy. Because like the way it looked, just like the light shining on the blood looked very much like it was computer made.
Right. Yeah. That's always the thing, dude. It's like what I was talking about in the new Suspiria. It's like that fake blood that's done with CGI always looks wetter than wet.
Yeah. It doesn't
look
looks right.
Weird.
Yeah.
It sheens like motor oil does, not like blood does.
Right.
It's really strange. So that headshot didn't look amazing, but a lot of the other stuff in there was all practical. Mm-hmm. And they did a pretty damn good job. When that guy came out of that steam room and he was all melted and shit.
Oh, man.
And it was like all appliance.
That was brutal, yeah.
Very convincing.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah.
So I would say, at the end of the day, if I'm going to rate this movie, I don't love it. I don't see myself really watching it again, probably. Yeah. And what did we give House of a Thousand Corpses? You gave it 4.5. I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
And this is not as good as that.
It's not as good as House of a Thousand Corpses.
So I'm going to say this is a 3.5.
3.5? Yeah. I can understand that, man. Yeah, it's all just, it's that thing that I talk about in music all the time. I tell people, one of the real keys to writing good tunes and writing exciting music, it's like, if everything is heavy, nothing is heavy.
Right.
If everything is fast, nothing is fast.
You need the point of comparison.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even when you look back at like some of the greatest thrash records of all time, like when you listen to fucking Master Puppets from start to finish, there's really not any of those songs that are fast from start to end. There's dynamics, there's slow songs and stuff on there too. When something brutal is right next to something that was not brutal, it makes it way more intense. When things get really ramped up after things have been kind of in a lull, it makes them more intense. In this movie, when everything is gory, nothing seems gory.
Yeah.
When everything is grimy,
nothing seems grimy.
Doesn't seem grimy.
Yeah.
When everything's intense all the fucking time, just doesn't feel intense
anymore.
If they're
yelling from the moment they start talking, it's like, when is this ever gonna, when are we ever gonna get to the point where they're talking like normal people?
Yeah, let it cool down for a second, Yeah, this movie just has a lot of dynamics problems for me. Like I said, I like the message and stuff. There's cool things you could say about it, but I just don't think it does it very well. Super unlikable characters. Way forgettable soundtrack. It had that thing that I would just describe as cheap European soundtrack. And it's a thing. It's like, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm fucking talking about. Cheap European soundtrack is what it sounded like. Yeah, not a fan, man. You said 3.5?
Yeah.
I would probably go as low as like 2.5.
Okay.
I just really didn't like this movie. And it's so fucking long. An hour and 40 something to tell this story?
Yeah.
Come on.
Despite how fast it moves, it feels it. It feels long.
It is the longest feeling fast movie ever, man. Yeah, not really a huge fan. Roger suggested this movie for us, and I don't think it's because he loves it.
No, it was not because he loves it, but he wanted us to talk about it. I think maybe he wanted us an excuse to talk about politics,
probably,
and it be associated with the horror movie.
And you got it.
He got it.
Farewell, subscribers.
Yep.
So on next week's show, I'm really looking forward to covering this one, man. This is going to be a really fun one to do here in Grime May, where we're covering just some grimy old grosso movies.
And you guys voted for this one.
Yeah, this is one that was up for vote. The next 2 weeks here were voted on by you guys, our dead and loyalists out there.
Those are the good ones.
And we're going to be talking about Robert Rodriguez's Planet Terror.
Our second Robert Rodriguez movie.
Yeah, it's true. We've done Dusk Till Dawn.
Might be our last. I don't know if he has another horror movie.
You might be right. Shame. Yeah, you might be right. I really wish that he would.
Yeah,
because they're so fun whenever he does them. He seems to great. He seems to really get it.
He does. He does. If you've ever seen any interviews with him, there was one with Pete Holmes that I really loved. And he really does just seem like the coolest dude.
He seems like a fucking great dude. Yep. Like, I would love to hang out. With Robert Rodriguez. He seems like such a cool fucking hang.
So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a lot of fun. You guys be sure to tune in for that. In the meantime, you guys be sure to rate and review on the iTunes. That sure would help us out a whole hell of a lot. I've seen the reviews kind of coming in a little slow lately. I would love to see more and more perking up on there. Compared to other horror podcasts that have been around the same amount of time as us, we're definitely crushing them there. So,
we got to.
Our fans are killing.
More.
Our fans are killing. More. We want to leave them in the damn dust, y'all.
Yeah.
We want to leave them behind. So please be sure to go on iTunes, rate and review. Steve, how can they support us?
We have a Patreon, patreon.com/deadandlovely.
That's right.
Same with the PayPal, paypal.me/deadandlovely. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at deadlovelypod. We have a Facebook group that is super duper fun, and we've been doing this almost I think 6 weeks now. We've had a chat every time there's been a Joe Bob Briggs stream,
which seems to coincide every time with when I have a show. I feel like
it's
such
Friday
a dickhead.
night,
I'm not going to be on there.
Don't worry about it. It's all of us just getting drunk, watching the first movie, and then most of us passing out.
That sounds fucking great.
Yeah, it was real fun. We did Wolf Cop. They had Wolf Cop and then Henry last time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
P.S.
Oh.
There's a Joe Bob Briggs interview on last podcast on the left recently.
Oh, really?
And it's awesome.
Man.
I just listened to it this week. It just popped in my mind whenever you said it.
He was in Chattanooga a few weeks ago.
No shit.
Yeah, and I didn't know about it ahead of time, or I would definitely like to go see the
That'd have been a great Dead Lovely road trip right there. For real, yeah. That'd have been amazing.
Super smart film critic. So
hell yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so join the Facebook group so you can jump in with us on those things, and what else we got? We got whatever. Just look for us on Google.
Come on, you'll find us.
Bing it. Duck, go it.
Ask Jeeve about us.
Whatever Tor uses.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Try that out. Well, you guys have been just so goddamn great. Thanks for listening to this episode and dealing with our political rants and ravings.
That's us.
You guys be sure to tune in next week when we'll be talking about a real Arizona king. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? One of them Arizona kings.
King.
Hey, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
What do I mean?
It's like a Mississippi Queen, but the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is... sorry, I forgot. Like, I've been really busy. Like, I can't remember what a Mississippi Queen...
That's a Mississippi Queen. That's a fun song. Mississippi Queen. Know what I mean.
So I was talking with Kate about our list of Yaz. She pointed out one that she was definitely disappointed that we didn't put on the That Was a Thousand Corpses episode.
Was it the birth control?
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? So it's kind of a hey, yeah, but there's still a yeah attached to that thing.
Mm-hmm. We also didn't mention the band, the yeahs.
Yeah. They're covered in them, man. They're covered in them.
Covered in yes.
Covered in Yaz. Shout out to Yaz, the birth control.
Yeah.
According to Nick Shoddy, doesn't work too good.
Yeah, caused like blood clots or something. Don't think it's any. It's
it caused getting pregnant sometime.
Is it due?
I guess so.
Oh no.
Kind of an issue, I would say.
Yeah.
But once again, it's not really the birth you're trying to control. It's really the pregnancy.
Yeah, I want pregnancy control.
Yeah, I want baby control. No baby, please.
Just imagine basically animal control.
Yeah. Baby
showing
control.
up to take control of babies with like one of those like poles with a leash on the end. Come on, baby.
Get out of here, baby. I wish everything was just titled what it is, where it's just like anti-baby pills.
Anti-baby pills.
No baby pills.
No baby for you.
I need to get my prescription for my no baby pills. Okay, here you go. Go have fun not having babies.
That is fun, honestly. So far.
I'm a huge fan.
So far, I've found it to be extremely fun.
Yeah. I'm way on deck with that.
Mm-hmm.